I'm being joined tonight by the one and only Wale Adigun. Wale Adigun, of course, is a broadcaster, podcaster, and of course, he is the sporting director of Ughelli Rovers, who will not be playing in the playoffs for the NNL this season after, it's less than stellar performance. But you learn, you continue to grow, yeah?
Well, we're 2 years into our development, right? 2 years into our project, so it's baby steps.
Well, you say baby steps, but I want to remind you that it took Pyramids FC 17 years, and they have won the CAF Champions League. So
17 years and 2 owners, right?
You're running out of time. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, two rich owners. Turkey,
and an Emirati owner
as well. So I mean, we don't have that.
Okay, well, you have something that is not too bad as well. But we'll be talking about football later on in the show. But let's start very quickly with some MMA. 18 elite athletes from across Africa will clash at the African Knockout Championships. That's season 9 on the 13th of June in Lagos. The event will feature bouts in featherweight, bantamweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight divisions. Representing nations include Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, Ghana, Cameroon, and top matchups include Egypt's Mohamed Essam versus Kenya's Ouhsummer and Nigeria's Damilare Abdoulrahim versus Cameroon's Sylvie Ngono. The championship aims to spotlight continental talent and drive growth in African combat sports. We're being joined tonight by a fine gentleman, Kelebra Oshoke. He is the head coach of Rebirth Era Gym. Kelebra, thank you so much for coming through tonight. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Let's start this fashion.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. So let's start. How would you describe the rise or increased interest in mixed martial arts in Nigeria and across Africa? It's been somewhat phenomenal, but I'd like to get your take on it.
I mean, first of all, I'd like to say it's about time. Being in this sport for so long and having to experience the talent we have and, seeing a lot of roadblocks in getting to where we should be because of some very, minute reasons and restrictions, but having to see that people are open to it more, thanks to Kamaru, Israel, who have, set a point for people to actually see and inspire to be able to, contest in this sport and go all out and, give it all they have, knowing that there's a future. And I mean, it's, I knew it was coming and it's here and I know we will represent properly.
So how would you describe the quality of mixed martial art talents in Nigeria vis-a-vis what it's found across the world? Of course, you know about the Dagestanis, you know about the Eastern Europeans, you know about the Americans. How would you rate Nigerian MMA talent as it currently stands?
Okay, so first of all, we have amazing strikers coming out of Nigeria. We have amazing strikers. We've had kickboxing for a long time. We have amazing coaches on kickboxing. We've also have top-notch boxing. If you know about boxing in Nigeria, we have very good boxing. We've been lacking a lot on, the grappling side of MMA, but, thanks to exposure and media and, just access to information in modern day, we have what we need now to be able to mix them up on that level. And judging from the past fights from the previous AKO events, I am pleased with what I'm seeing. I'm seeing good level grappling, good groundwork, and fights are getting finished with, on the ground. And, so, like Nigerians, all we need generally is, to know. And then when we know, we master it and then we export it. And then we're usually the best at it. That's how it has always worked for us. So it's been amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to quickly ask. Good evening, by the way, Chief.
Yes.
Let's talk about acceptability and visibility. What have you made of that? I know that there was action at the National Sports Festival, but by your assertion, with what you've seen so far so good, what is the level, or where do you think we are right now in Nigeria as far as the acceptability and visibility of the sport's concerned?
I feel like we are moving at a very amazing pace. I mean, judging from just the AKO events, I can see how better the production has gotten in less than no time. And, having people from multiple countries coming, I feel like accessibility, visibility, all of that is coming. We have something we need to touch on, in terms of the fighters. I mean, we just need to tweak some little things in terms of media, just having media know that they have to not just cover the combat side of the sport, but also, the personal lives of the fighters, the stories behind them, and, the personalities. Those are the things that actually build a fan base, Fighters, we need you guys to, work on your social media, because we have fighters fighting off, states in Nigeria, and the people from those states don't even know there's somebody representing from their state, so they can't even support them if they want to. But I feel like, all these things happen in time. We see fighters showing up, pulling up with the swag, trying to look better. And I know with time, it will all be, it's easy. We will be there. We have good production. We have good fighters. It is entertaining. I don't see any holdbacks, but, time.
We've got like 8 fights lined up for tomorrow, AK09. Which of the fights are you looking forward to?
So first of all, Texas, because I know him personally. I know what he's capable of. I know his coach, Minya Jack, amazing coach, amazing striker. I know what he's capable of. I think his fights, the previous fights before AKO, this is his debut. His previous fights, I think they've all ended first round. He has never been to the second round. I know he's hungry, and I know he has the skill. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do, because I know whoever is in that cage with him should be ready for a long night. He's a real one. He's a dog.
Okay. I think that you set the stage quite nicely. But let's leave AK09 behind. Let's talk about the UFC. And one man was a welterweight undisputed champion. Kamaru Usman is set to make his UFC comeback after battling injuries that nearly ended his career. The former UFC welterweight champion has dealt with nearly a decade of knee pains, and he admitted he's not fully healthy ahead of his return. And despite recent setbacks, including a 3-match losing streak and his last fight, which was a loss to Khamzat Chimaev in October 2023, Usman remains motivated to reclaim his title. He'll be facing Joaquin Buckley in the main event of UFC Fight Night on the 15th of June in State Farm Arena in Atlanta. And at 38, the Auchi-born fighter aims to prove that he still has a future in the championships. But Kelebra, what did you make? I just want to get your first impressions when you heard that Kamaru Usman is ending a 2-year hiatus to come back into the octagon. What was your first impression?
So, first of all, it's not about living, it's about the reason you live. If you live for the right reason, then it's justified. He needed to live to clear his head to get his body back. Because one thing I know for sure, my experience has told me that a lot of times fighters, we let our mind ignore our bodies. We have the fight in us, and so we are used to injuries. It happens every day. So a lot of times we forget our bodies get beat up, and, we just keep going. And I feel like he just needed the rest, and I feel like he has gotten the rest. About the injury, we all have injuries. As a fighter, like, injury is part of the process. So I feel like people can achieve amazing things. The injuries doesn't matter to me. I bet Buckley probably has his fair share of injuries too. But then again, it's Usman. He has proven himself multiple times. He has never had a dominant win over himself. I feel like it's just been a break in transmission, but I know Usman can come back and pick it up from where he left it.
But that's the thing.
I think it's just time for him to remind them
of just how much of a bad man he is. I know that's what you want to say, but at
just
30,
how much of a monster he is.
At 38, bro. At 38, isn't he too old for this sport? Shouldn't he leave it to the younger cats?
Is it too old? I think he should probably have a retirement
Buckley's 31, right? Buckley's 31. Kamaru's 38. Yes. He's made money. He's made a name. His daughter will not want for anything. Shouldn't he just pack it in and let it go?
Because it's not time. I mean, only the fighter knows the fire he has inside of him. If you feel like you can go, and he has fans that believe he can go, I personally believe he can go. I mean, obviously, he should be looking to, getting a retirement, settle thing going on soon. But for now, I feel like he still has the dog in him. He has the experience on his side. We all know that experience beats a lot. So he has that on his side. I don't think he has anything holding him back. Will he have a long time to go after this? No, but I believe Usman still has the fire, and I mean, he's the Nigerian nightmare, man. We know what he's capable of. He has left his footprint in the UFC. Nobody should doubt it. Coming from the Ultimate Fighting League and then coming to the UFC and making such a record as being the first African to actually hold a belt. I mean, his footsteps have been left there and nobody can take that out. I mean, I personally feel like Buckley is probably just, it's a perfect fight because I feel like it's a challenge, but it's not a scary challenge for Usman.
It is a scary challenge. I mean, Calebra, you do know that Buckley has one of the greatest knockouts ever in the history of the of the UFC. Remember that spinning back kick knocked his opponent out. But I know Wally has a question for you.
Yeah, and interestingly, I mean, to take you from there.
Time, Masvidal has the fastest knockout in UFC history, like 1 second, ended it with a flying knee. But let's see what Usman did to that same person. It's not about the flashy highlights. You throw a lucky shot, it lands perfectly, it looks beautiful. But that has nothing to do with experience. That has nothing to do with time put in the gym. That has nothing to do with, how much work you've put in to be where you're at and how much fire you have in you. It's a flashy highlight. Usman has one too. The knockout against Masvidal is spectacular. So that's not really what tells the game. The game at the end of the day, when we get in there, we'll test our hearts, we'll test our skill, and we'll see who has the will to go through it.
Okay.
Usman has the pressure, and I believe on that day he will bring it, and I believe Buckley will break.
I mean, you make a very good point, Calebra, but I mean, Joaquin Buckley is riding a 6-match winning streak that involves or includes Colby Covington, but we know that as well. So this is a dangerous guy. And we know that Kamaru is on a 3-match losing streak, twice to Leon Edwards, 1 to Chimaev. Those 3 losses didn't look good on him, especially the first one to Edwards. He was dominating. He was in the ascendancy, and something just landed, and he lost that one. But I mean, away from that, I'm not too optimistic about Kamaru, by the way, and that's no disrespect to him. His legacy is set in stone. Nothing can change it.
You want to ask a question?
Yeah, but the question I want to quickly ask is I mean, you look at Kamaru Usman, you look at Easy, that's Israel Adesanya. Which of the Nigerian fighters right now do you think can get to that level?
Any of them, actually. I feel like the major restriction we've had is, access here, and we have access now. And I know what Nigerians can do when they know something. When they know something, they own it and then they export it. I believe they, now we know what we need to know, and I feel like our boys are working on it, and I know that all we need right now is for our fighters to be inspired, better pay, so these people can, when you believe you can live the life you want to live by doing what you're doing, you do it the best you can. And they need to let these men know that they can live the life of their dreams by doing this sport. And if you can do that, I bet you the fighters would reach any level you want them to get to. At the end of the day, it's access. Once we are going, like I said, the exposure AQ has given us is amazing. Like, people are now ready to, actually invest in this sport. Even my personal gym doing so by bringing in a black belt from Brazil to come and coach our fighters, and just get them to the next level of their grappling. We could only do that because we saw what AKO had done, and that was enough motivation for us to invest into doing that. And I feel like more people will do that, and, once that is done, our fighters can go out, learn, and get the same quality training and, fight IQ here. I feel like the sky is our limit. I feel like we are coming and to any heights they can be, and people should be ready for African, Nigerian fighters to be precise. Okay. Because it's not just about the skill, it's about the heart, and it's something we have.
I totally agree. But finally, before we let you go, Calebra, you want to call that Kamaru Usman fight versus Joaquin Buckley? Who wins that one?
Kamaru.
Oh, short, sharp, and sweet. Calebra Ushoke, who is the head coach of Rebirth Era Gym, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be reaching out to you subsequently after some of these ahead of these big fights, and also to break it down for us properly to help to educate MMA fans. But thank you so much for coming through tonight, Calebra Ushoke.
No problem.